So now that I have that top peeled off, you can see clearly this mouth where you'd put a stick or whatever to drink the juice out of this coconut without wasting the moisture within inside, which we can't afford to do. There's the eyes, there's the mouth, so that's where you hit it, right in the mouth.
Wandering the most dangerous terrains, looking for food while trying to escape life-threatening animals and diseases, well, it's pretty much the whole concept of dual survival. The adrenaline junkies loved the show from the very beginning, and some credit for it also goes to Cody Lundin, who hosted the show with utmost dedication. Cody loves survival challenges and risked his life so many times that he became a huge part of the show. But in recent years, he's not anywhere to be found, and his fans are actually worried as he looked a little spooked in his last episodes. So let's get into it and find the untold truth of Cody Lundin from Dual Survival.
As a generic rule of thumb, to pasteurize water, if you bring it above 160 for about a half an hour, it should kill all waterborne pathogens.
Now, survival instincts didn't just appear to Cody out of the blue. He had them from the very beginning. Cody actually was the son of a military man and was the only child, so they had to constantly move from one place to another due to his father's postings. When he reached junior high, they finally got to Wyoming, where he also completed his high school. Because of moving so many places and having a strict father, Cody had a bit of bitterness towards his family. So he decided to leave his house right after high school. He actually decided to live on the street. As it turns out, living without a house and an income wasn't a piece of cake, so Cody had to get through some pretty rough times, and he spent a lot of his teenage years either in a commune, on park benches, or in the backyard of his fellows. He then got into a shelter and went to college from there. His life still wasn't very easy, and he had to continue his struggle for survival until he got a degree in holistic health from Prescott College. Lundin took all his life's trauma and experiences and closed them up in a book, which was basically about how you have to keep going even if all hell breaks loose. Because of his books and his experience in surviving some of the most difficult situations, Lundin got offered a hosting job in Lost in the Wild. He took the job, and soon enough, he was hosting Dual Survival. Now, Dual Survival surely sounds like the show that was made for Cody, because the show required edgy personality, humour, and lots of passion for survival. So when Discovery announced that Cody won't be a part of Dual Survival anymore, people thought they were pulling a really bad prank. What shocked the fans even more was that this announcement came at the middle of the 4th season. So they didn't even wait for the season to end before letting go of Cody, who's always been a huge part of the show. It could be the reason why people thought that it's a prank, because how could Cody just leave in the middle of the 4th season? However, the reality was actually very disappointing for the fans, as Cody actually left the show, and his fans were in shock because they loved seeing him get through every single problem and ending up successful. But this was a huge setback in his career. Cody didn't shy away from talking about the news of him leaving the show, although his public response made things even more confusing. He didn't clear anything up and simply gave a statement that he didn't leave the show. In fact, he was actually fired, and that was mainly because he had a lot of differences with the representatives of Discovery Channel. He even talked about the differences, but in a very vague tone. It seemed like Cody didn't want to put his career on thin ice. He said that he was fired because his concerns about safety and health weren't heard. Cody also said that he's gonna miss the show, but he's not ready to compromise on the safety of other people in the name of survival. After Cody's statement, people started looking at Discovery Channel as a black sheep and thought that the channel persuaded Cody and his crew to do some life-threatening tasks that he didn't want to do, and that's why they fired him. But it was all speculation, and Discovery Channel didn't address them at all in their statement. The network clearly said that they loved their time with Cody and they wished him nothing but best. However, they wanted to keep bringing something new to the audiences, so they felt like they needed to change the host finally and bring a fresh face with a whole new perspective and survival approach. This explanation surely wasn't what Cody or his fans were looking for. It further angered them and made things worse. According to reports, Cody even went as far as to say that Discovery's statements are all inaccurate, false, and uncalled for. Cody believed that the statements were painting him in a bad picture because Discovery's initial statement felt more like Cody was leaving the show by himself and wasn't getting fired, and their statement after that simply said that Cody wasn't good enough anymore. This deeply hurt Cody, and he said that he felt like they were undermining Cody's skills and were trying to give the impression that he wasn't able to hack the survival tricks anymore and that they had to fire him. He further said that this statement from the Discovery Channel actually questioned his dignity and his professional expertise and experience, which he wouldn't tolerate at any cost. This made things a lot worse, but Cody was ready for everything, as he didn't want to be bested by a bunch of corporate people who had little to no knowledge about actual survival. Although Cody had a lot to do even after being fired from Dual Survival, as he had his own school to run where he taught necessary skills to get through any situation, but the statements from Discovery worked as fuel to fire, and them not simply apologising and accepting the blame infuriated Cody. What came next was really unexpected and downright jaw-dropping. Cody wasn't ready to let it go after Discovery made his whole career a question mark. He took the channel to court and filed a lawsuit against them. In the lawsuit, it was clearly stated that Cody didn't feel safe on the show, and the channel did nothing to make the situation better for him despite his constant requests. Initially, it wasn't revealed why Cody felt so threatened, but in the lawsuit, it was written that Joe Tetai made Cody feel really unsafe, and he said some pretty intense things to him that threw Cody off his game and made him feel really paranoid. It all started when they were shooting on the cruel mountains in Norway, where they were trying to survive the rough weather. And Tetai suddenly said to Cody that he'll bury him on this mountain. Because of the nature of the show, there weren't a lot of people around, so Cody felt really scared, but he ignored it, thinking that it's all in his head. But this didn't stop Tetai at all from taking another shot at Cody. They were in Hawaii for an episode when Tetai again came up to Cody and threatened to impale him. And Tetai had a spear in his hand too, while his tone was really aggressive. This made Cody sure that he wasn't overthinking it, and Tetai indeed was a real threat. Cody didn't feel safe at night and was always under the fear that Tetai would attack him just to assert his own domination. And while Cody was going through such a rough patch, the creators of the show and Discovery representatives were busy crafting a whole new controversy. They made him look like he was actually losing his mind and going insane with his paranoid tricks and all the weird stunts that he pulled before he was fired. So, in the lawsuit, Cody accused Discovery Channel of deliberately making him look insane, and it was something that he wouldn't put up with, so he wanted everyone at Discovery to pay the price. However, things didn't quite pan out the way Cody would have wanted, because the lawsuit ruling was in Discovery's favour, and the judge clarified that there was no solid evidence that backed up Cody's claims, and it was just his word against theirs. But Cody still didn't get disheartened, and he even submitted another appeal against this decision. Cody Lundin is currently living in the plains of northern Arizona, where he's made a passive solar Earth residence and continues to survive through thick and thin. The interesting part is that Cody doesn't have to pay anything for utilities, as he collects the water from rain, composts the waste, and even grows his own vegetables. He also has a YouTube channel with over 50,000 subscribers, but he hasn't been active on the channel for 6 years.